today I have 2 tenderloins that I'm gonna cut into fillets, and I really just wanna know what weird sauce makes these even more tender and more flavorful. We have 4 weird sauces that we're gonna add and marinate these fillets with overnight. I have 2 center cut tenderloins that have been trimmed up. I'm gonna do 2 steaks per sauce, so I'm gonna slice these guys up into 4 apiece. I like to kind of pre-slice the top of them just so I know the sizing and keep them about the same size. That way I don't get through slicing and realize like, oh crap, I totally messed that up. We're using fillets today just because I wanted something that's like a uniform size and shape. They're already pretty tender, so I'm really just trying to see which one makes it more tender and which one actually adds a ton of flavor. If you wanted to do this with something more unique, you could use like skirt steak, like a hanger steak, or something that really needs to add some extra tenderness to it because it's already kind of hearty and not gonna have a ton of tenderness. You could also use it on chuck. We're gonna separate these out into groups of 2. I like using fillets as well because they're already tender, so if something is added to it and it makes it less tender, that's gonna be a clear sign that that's not the one that we wanna use for marinating our steaks in. All right, so we have our 8 fillets out. Let's go through the lineup of the 4 sauces that we're gonna marinate in. I guess they're not really sauces, some of them are drinks. Number 1, sweet tea. This stuff is delicious on its own. It's gonna add a unique flavor. I don't really know. I've never marinated with sweet tea, so I don't really know, but I imagine it's gonna add a really cool and interesting, unique flavor. And maybe some of that tannic acidity is gonna break down this meat and make it extra tender. Who knows? It may actually just make it worse. Number 2, we have cold brew coffee. I thought about adding, like making my own cup of coffee and then cooling it all down. Too lazy, I didn't want to do that. We have this one, it's extra bold, so it's definitely gonna add some caffeine to your steak. So if you really wanna add your steak and coffee together in the morning, you could do it this way. I think it's gonna add a unique robustness. I love coffee rubs. I just think it's gonna be really interesting. Number 3, pineapple juice. I've used pineapple juice before in marinating. It goes great with like chicken or anything that really needs to break down because there are enzymes inside of pineapples that break down meat really well. I am no scientist. I think I've heard this before, but that's basically the reason why when you eat a lot of pineapple and your mouth feels a little raw, is because it's like trying to break down your mouth. That's weird. If that's not true, then let's cut that. Fact check. Pineapple is gonna be super interesting. I definitely think this one is going to break the meat down. I'm a little curious though, will it get too tender? And then the last one, the king of all sauces, Hidden Valley Ranch. I mean, come on, dude. Nothing is better than Hidden Valley Ranch. I think that this is gonna break down the meat perfectly. I'm already calling it. This is the winner. Ranch makes everything better. It's gonna make it juicy, juicy. Sweet tea, coffee, pineapple juice, ranch. Which one's gonna be the winner? We're gonna throw these into plastic bags, throw them in the fridge overnight, and we're gonna grill them up tomorrow. Let's marinate these guys up. Or brine. I guess some of these is salt and sugar, so who really knows? I should know. Tastes like diabetes. I'm not a cold brew guy. I don't really like cold brew. That's good. Pineapples are so good, man. It tastes good, but it's just wrong. Sweet tea, coffee, pineapple, and ranch. Let's throw these into the fridge overnight. Please, please make sure to drink the ranch when you test this out. So we marinated our fillets overnight, so let's check them out. So we have pineapple, sweet tea, we have coffee that has some ice in it, and then everybody's favorite ranch. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna pat these guys dry, try and get a lot of that excess off. All right, that's ready to season. The meat looks a little gray, but not too gray. Coffee. That looks really good. That looks incredible. It looks like it's super absorbed. Next, sweet tea. Not super firm. And then last, pineapple. Ooh, yeah, you can smell that pineapple. And this is soft. This is very soft. Okay, so we got all 4. So we have pineapple, we have sweet tea, we have coffee, and we have ranch. These 2 are looking not too bad. Honestly, the coffee one looks the best out of all of them, maybe just because it kind of looks like it's already cooked. The sweet tea added definitely a hint of this like orange brown color, and then the pineapple just looks gray. They're looking really good. For this experiment, I'm gonna grill them all hot and fast over the fire. I'm gonna season them with just salt so we can really see the flavor and the texture. All right, these are looking good. Let's throw them on the grill. This grill is very hot, so it shouldn't take very long to cook. This is the pineapple. Now we have the sweet tea. Now the coffee. Last but not least, the ranch. All right, so I'm just gonna let them cook, flip them in a couple of minutes. We're gonna cook them all to about 120 internal. So they look very interesting. These are the pineapple, and they kind of look like pork tenderloin. They look good. Then the sweet tea, honestly, this one has the best caramelization. Coffee looks great. It looks like a great looking filet. And then the ranch, you can see on the side, it's curdling a little bit. But overall, they look good. I'm curious to see how they taste. So these guys have been resting for about 10 minutes. So our fillets are ready to go. Let's slice into them. These guys right here are the pineapple. They feel tender. They got a decent little crust on them. These are sweet tea, which I'm pleasantly surprised by how they look. They look great. Next, we have coffee, probably one of the best looking ones. And then ranch. They definitely curdled on the side, but not too terrible of a crust. So we have the pineapple. That looks really juicy, has a good color. I will say they still, like, the crust kind of looks like pork tenderloin, but overall the internal color looks really good on these. Now, sweet tea. Also looks really good. Again, the crust, it looks like pork tenderloin, but they look really good. Next, we have coffee. Good color, good crust. It looks a lot more like beef. All right, and last but not least, ranch. Looks good too. They almost all look a little similar outside of some differences in the crust. So I'm curious how they taste. Let's try them out. I'm gonna slice them up, and then I'm gonna do a blind taste test. My wife is gonna give me each one, and I'm gonna tell you which one is my favorite without me knowing which one is which. So we have each one. I'm gonna guess which one I think it is, and then what I like and don't like about it. So all right, first guy, smell, really hard to tell. All right, let's try it out. I thought this was gonna be a lot easier. I don't know what that is. It tastes a little plain. It didn't have a lot of like saltiness to it, so maybe it's just lacking some salt. This guy, off the bat, it's either the pineapple or it's the sweet tea, just from the coloring. That's very good. Has a nice little sweet taste to it. My guess is sweet tea. I like the sweet little aftertaste on it. Overall, very tender. That one's good. All right, so third. That one's the best one. That's incredible. This is the pineapple, definitely the pineapple. I think everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't know, oh no. I like the saltiness on it. It's super tender. This one is the best one so far. And then the last one. Nope, this is the pineapple. This is definitely the pineapple. It tastes good. A little too sweet for me. It's distinctively pineapple-y flavor. It is tender, not my favorite though. Number one is coffee. Number two is sweet tea, which leaves number three is ranch. My hope is number three is ranch. Number four is pineapple. Number three is my favorite. Number two is my second favorite. Number four is my third favorite. And coffee, I think number one is my least favorite. How did I do?
Ranch is your favorite.
Let's go!
You also guessed them all right.
I did? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It made my day. Dude, ranch is incredible. That's so good. The flavor off of it's incredible. The crust on the ranch was not incredible, but the flavor is great. May need to work a little bit with adding a little bit of oil into it to get a better crust. I'm kind of curious, like, how far could we take it? Could we like marinate, inject with ranch, season with ranch seasoning, and then serve it up with like a ranchy horseradish sauce? Would it be too much? All right, make sure to go and check out some of my favorite recipes going into the new year. I know it's cold outside, but there are still some great recipes that you can cook over the fire. Go and check out my new cowboy butter rub. I got a few other seasonings hopefully coming out soon, so stay tuned for that, as well as go and grab some of the beer cans. You guys rock. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. Leave a comment below on what you would love to see me cook, how far you think I can take this ranch infused steak, and see if it's still very good. And as always, stay so freaking delicious. Cheers. I can't believe I got them all right. I can't believe that ranch is the best, but it is. It is. Ranch wins. You know, it's like love wins, ranch wins.